The Louisville Metro Council may be cracking down on short-term rentals like Airbnb. So joining us to break this down is WDRB.com business reporter Chris Otts. It looks like some elected officials want a moratorium. So what exactly would that do here?
Well, basically, it would put a pause on registrations for Airbnbs. You have to get a permit in some cases or just register in other cases in Louisville to host one of these. And the city is considering a big overhaul to these rules that were first passed in 2015. This would be the third big overhaul. And the idea is that they really want to crack down on homes and apartments that are permanent short-term rentals, kind of like hotels within neighborhoods. I spoke with Ben Reno Weber, who's the Metro Council person who represents the Highlands area. He says a moratorium would be effective for at least parts of his district.
In our community, we do not have enough housing that is affordable for the people that are already in the neighborhoods or want to move there. And so when you've got out-of-state investors buying up multiple properties, driving up the value of those properties to beyond affordability for the people that are from there, that have been in there, that's not what we want as a community. Which is different than I'm an owner-occupied person who wants to rent out my place for Derby or certain weekends. That's very different.
And the city is also looking at more permanent changes around Airbnb. So Chris, what's being discussed there?
Well, they're looking at tweaking the rules, and the idea is to just make them a little tighter. There's a feeling that too many properties have been approved for this kind of use. So some of the things that they're looking at is maybe, requiring a Kentucky ID for somebody who says, hey, this is my primary residence and I don't need to go through a permitting process to get my Airbnb. They're also looking at only home owners having the ability to bypass the permitting process, and fewer exceptions to this rule that is supposed to keep these non-owner occupied short-term rentals within 600 feet of each other so that there's not one neighborhood that becomes overrun with short-term rentals. There's been too many exceptions to that rule, and so they'll be looking at how to tighten that up. These are just a few of the possible changes, and the proposals should be coming out later this week, followed by a few months of debate at the Metro Council. And
a very timely topic because we just got through Derby. A lot of people come into Louisville.
The biggest week of the year for Airbnb, for sure. Yeah, lots of extra money people are making too.
And we know that Airbnb has gotten wind of these talks and they are getting involved as well. Chris, you cover that in your story right now on WDRB.com.